The greatest villain that you'll ever come across in your lifetime is most likely yourself. Alright, let's do this one last time. My name is lizzymaebee, and 5 years ago, I was not bitten by a radioactive spider. However, I did go through some pretty traumatic experiences, and ever since then, I've been learning how to be the better version of myself. I'm gonna tell you how. I remember the worst year of my life, call it my canon event, essentially. I had 2 members of my family pass away in the span of 2 weeks, and I was trying to let go of an abusive relationship. Here I was, a girl who was literally at the very, very beginning of her 20s, living by herself in a city that was still quite new to her. And at the time, I was just completely unable to comprehend what actually was happening to me. I repressed a lot of this grief and a lot of the pain, and eventually it brought its way to the surface. I just shattered. My friends around me try to pick up these broken fragments of myself. The mental pain and suffering I felt, it was just as equivalent to any physical pain. I desperately needed a hero. I desperately needed myself. Sit down with me. By the way, my shoes, very much sticking to theme here. So I gotta have brownie points for these shoes because, look at it. If there's one thing that we all share in common, it's the human experience of pain. And whether we like it or not, we'll experience pain and grief throughout our lifetime, and we just have to deal with it in a healthy way, of course. I think a favorite quote of mine is that maturity isn't reflective in your age, it's shown in life experiences. And I've met a lot of people who I can definitely look at and be like, yeah, I can tell you've either been through a lot, or I can tell that you haven't been through not so many experiences. Maybe you haven't gone through something that has significantly traumatized you. In the case that you do, or you have felt these experiences, know that whatever you're going through will make you stronger. And if it gets you down, and if you find yourself in a place unable to move forward or stuck, there's always hope, and there's always ways around it. But superpowers aren't instantly injected into yourself. No spider is going to crawl their way up to you, bite you, and give you that strength that you've always wanted. It's not an instant process at all. It doesn't happen like that. Although I had this grief and was experiencing this pain, and although it still lingers here once in a while if I pay attention to it, I feel like without it, it wouldn't have prepared me for the rest of my life. I always recommend the following to do. Things like writing a letter to your past, current, and future self, writing your goals, creating a vision board, go to therapy if you can afford it, journal every emotion, whether it's happy or sad, heal your inner child, talk to them. Do the things that you enjoy doing as a child, now as an adult. If for whatever reason you're doing all these things, and if things aren't working out for you, maybe it's your environment, maybe it's the social friends that you surround yourself with. If you're blessed to have friends who listen, then talk to them. Or just record yourself and talk to yourself. I did that all the time. So like, you know how superheroes have their superhero name, they have their human name, and then, human name? Is that the right term? They have their name that they go by on a day-to-day basis, and then they have their superhero name.
You're the spider, like, crime-fighting spider. Spider-boy. Spider-Man. Not in that onesie, no.
But this is something that also may significantly help you. I know it's helped me personally, and funnily enough, I had this conversation with a friend about it, and it's about creating an alter ego. And it goes along the lines of this.
People love to make alter egos because it allows them to be the person that they really want to be. And they channel all their energy into that alter ego, and it makes them more happier to escape the life but they are currently living under their original name. And that is why many people create alter egos.
We can apply the same thing into our own lives. This alter ego that you decide on becoming is pretty much you, but the higher, stronger version of yourself. Something that I consistently ask myself is, what would the highest version of myself do? It's so normal and human to get caught in a cycle of frustration and negativity and not understanding how to solve a certain situation or problem in your life. For me, I go back to the drawing board and I think, okay, what would the highest version of myself do in this situation? The highest version of yourself recognizes the parts of themselves that need inner work and healing, and also lives within their purpose. To be the highest version of yourself, you have to live authentically and make choices in your life that aligns with your morals and your values. For instance, my values are love, acceptance, and joy, and my purpose is to make others around me feel safe. Paying attention to your daily habits is something that allows you to become that higher version, and it elevates yourself. It comes down to the tiniest things, like what you do when you wake up. Are you on your phone, or are you focused on simply just breathing and calming yourself? It's a matter of just going back into your daily, your weekly, your monthly habits, tracking that and asking yourself, what would the best version of myself do? You know what? I know it's not easy to face yourself and to actually look at your life and be like, am I happy? Is this what I really want? I say this because I feel it and I sit with it almost every single day, but I'm working on it and I'm intentional with it, and instead of talking about it a lot with the people around me, I'm just doing it. What am I honestly feeling right now? Let's be honest. Right now, I'm going through a transitional period of my life where I'm making a lot of different changes to my lifestyle, and I'm seriously now figuring out what to do next. Now, this is something about superhero movies. There's always something unfulfilling in their current life, or something that really doesn't change for them until they step into the role of the superhero that they're becoming. That elevates who we are mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. That kind of stuff has to happen with actual work. The way I manifest things into my life, or the way that I want to attract things into my life, requires me seeing it or visualizing it. Seeing what I want for myself in the next couple of years really sets the tone for what I want my life to look like. I think why I resonate with Gwen from the Spider-Verse is that she's known loss. Because I'm quite estranged from family, and I have that feeling like her of kind of being alone in this world. Right now, if I were to really think about it, I'm kind of in a place where I'm like, I know I don't belong here. I know there's more out there. I think that's why I also relate to Gwen. Something really captivating and a detail in the movies is that she's in her own universe. It's like watercolors that expresses her emotions. And to be honest, that's kind of how I see things. And I see emotions in color. Man, this is kind of hard to say now I'm talking about it. Like her, she lost a best friend. And me, kind of experience the same things. I relate to that on that level. The friends that I have made, or people who I've actually felt a genuine connection to in this lifetime, haven't stuck around. And whether or not that's just because of the normal part of growing up and getting older, I get that. It's okay, because that just allows you to meet more people, more new experiences. At the end of the day, when we die, we're dying by ourselves. And it's just you. No one else in the whole entire world. Literally, it is just you. Which means it is up to you to take charge and control your life and figure out things you want to do. If you're watching this, I hope you're doing something about it. Because I know I need to do something about it as well. Now, I didn't just buy this costume just for the sake of sitting in my room and talking to a camera. I mean, I did. I went to Comic-Con recently, and the thing about conventions is that people just become whoever the heck they want, and there's no judgment there. You know, I really felt safe because I was with people who not only dressed like me, but was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There was a sense of connection and community in that. Putting this on, I feel amazing. I wish I wore this every single day. There's something about cosplaying that just gives you permission to become somebody else. So if we take this practice and apply it to our own lives, you can literally become anyone, right? This is where your physical appearance also greatly, significantly can impact how you behave in the world. Why is it that things like Comic-Con or events where we can dress up and allow ourselves to become someone else, someone that we want to be, what's the difference between doing that every other day? Make yourself look like the highest version of yourself, even if you don't feel like it, even if you feel absolutely terrible. Get dressed, get ready. So not only are you working on your inner self and the mental work, you're also going to work on that physical outwards appearance. The greatest villain that you'll ever come across in your lifetime is most likely yourself. Self-sabotage. We all do it. I do it. At the end of the day, who are we left with but ourselves? And maybe a couple of your favorite plushies. There's a whole world to explore and to be whoever you want to be. Pick yourself up to help others. Because how can you help save somebody else if you can't save yourself? Every hero has an origin story, so claim yours.